But it very much looked to me like Jan, when he had his head like clinched, just went, "I'm gonna fuck you up," and then just kneed him point blank in the head. Like there was no second guessing of it. Like even if his corner said, "Kick him now," like they said, there was no way he should have done it. Like it seemed very deliberate, very on purpose, and very kind of like preempted.
Right. You would think the world champion of a sport would have a little idea of what the rules of that sport are.
It just looked way too suspicious to me. I don't. Again, it might have just been a complete miscommunication and just lack of judgment in that point. You know, it's a high stakes match anyway. Your fucking title's on the line, so you're going to be a little bit maybe at times not as clear as you normally would
Frazzled.
be. Maybe a little bit frazzed, but I don't know. It just looked a bit too suspicious to me, and it looked like he definitely did that on purpose.
It's just super confusing to me because he has nothing to gain from doing that at that point. He was winning the fight easily. All he had to do was keep going for another round, and he would still be champion. And I don't remember the last time someone got disqualified and lost a belt. This is the first time I've seen it in maybe ever.
He was just when he was stood there during the whole bit where the guy was like just like Sterling was just there and was like, fucking hell, like Jesus Christ. But he was just stood there and he just looked so like unremorseful. Like he was just stood there, like it just looked so much like he meant to do that exactly as it was planned. Like it just did not look like he had any care for Sterling at all.
You're
like
right.
He was like, "Fuck you, mate, you're done."
Maybe
And I
he's
just
trying
feel
to send him a message. Maybe he's like, I can do this now. I know I'll get a rematch, and he's gonna come in fucked up from that last fight because of what I did to him.
He's gonna come in now with a head of steam because he's got like, I've got a fucking point to fucking prove now. Now I'm the champion. I've got to kind of prove that I'm going to be the champion, and he's going to come in a little bit more wild. I would assume, and that's when Jan can then capitalize and just beat the fuck out of him, basically.
Well, here's the thing: just getting knocked out for psychologically, that's going to fuck you up. It's going to take him ages. He might never recover from that. He's always going to remember getting knocked out in that fight, and he's always going to feel like he lost that fight as well. He's never going to be like, "Oh, I won the belt."
You could see as well that he was just so fucking brokenhearted.
Yeah.
Like, and Jan has broken him now.
Yeah,
like,
he's a broken man.
It wasn't like a knockout, just a general knockout. If it's a general knockout, he's more likely to be able to come back from that to a degree.
Yeah.
But when it was like that.
That was like when Negan knocked out Glenn's fucking eyeball.
Exactly.
It was that brutal. He's already on his knees. Just
he fucking he just Lucille'd Sterling.
Right.
Like, he like, it was just such a fucking brutal thing, and it was the point where he was awake the entire time. It didn't knock him unconscious at any point. It just fucking knocked him for 6, and he was concussed.
Yeah.
He has to be concussed.
You could see in his eyes. His eyes were completely glazed over.
He was absolutely gone. Like, he knew where he was, he knew what was going on, but he didn't know what to do, and his legs weren't working with his head.
No, the referee was trying to stand him up. He couldn't stand up.
He was cognitive, but he wasn't, like, his body wasn't working with him.
I think it took them too long to decide that fight shouldn't continue. They left him on the ground for about 5 minutes before they were like, maybe we should call this one off.
The doctor come in and just kind of stood by him for a minute and then just kind of didn't say anything. It's the referee that seemed to be doing all the fucking business on that whole bit.
Yeah, I don't know what the doctor was doing. The doctor's like, "Hey, can you see straight?" Like, what kind of fucking medical test is that? Can you see straight?
How many hands am I holding up? I don't know. I just feel like he's just fucked Sterling up now. Like, he won't come back from this. He'll lose the title in his next match.
I assume they'll get a rematch. I would assume
so, and I feel like Sterling at least deserves to get the rematch and prove himself that he can beat Jan for that title.
Yeah,
but I think Jan has mentally broken him now.
The thing as well, though, is we have number one contenders. We have I think Corey Sandhagen waiting for his title shot. So now what have we got to do? A rematch of these guys before that guy can get his shot?
I feel like there should be a rematch between them two before it goes any further.
I mean, it seems like it, because you can't just have Sterling be like the undisputed champion and go on and fight other contenders.
Yeah.
Because he was losing that fight.
Yeah. Jan deserved to get disqualified for that. Like
100%. 100%.
Like, thinking that he would, like, Sterling was going to come up. They knew how gassed he was.
Yep.
Like, they knew he was absolutely fucked at this point, and there was no way he was going to get up that quickly from being pushed as well. Like, he was being kept down, so that's like compressing his lungs anyway. So that's like taking air out of him.
Yeah.
He was not going to get up onto like a somewhat vertical basis that quickly. He was like, it was completely just seemed wrong.
Just what a mistake. Just what a mistake by Jan. I mean,
Yeah,
of all the things you could do, you know the rules. You practice all the time this fucking sport. I assume he's done this before, and then to make a mistake like that in a title fight, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, man, you gotta do better than that.
Yeah. I don't know. It just I don't know. Yeah, just Sterling's game plan was shit anyway from the get go.
That's his game plan. He always does. They come in fast and come in hard, and if you can win the fight in the first minute, then that's going to be great. But if it doesn't, then it's going to start going the other way.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. He was just doing everything to wear himself out the whole way through.
Yeah,
like when he had his legs like swept from under him, he just went like crazy legs.
Yeah, just not using his energy efficiently.
Yeah. He was just screaming like that, and yeah, I don't know, it's just a weird fight. It just had a weird atmosphere to it, this one.
Yeah,
but I remember you saying like Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, I'm nervous about this fight," because you didn't know how it was going to go either way when it first came in, like you said so.
Right.
And like, because you were saying like you feel tense with this before this whole fight started.
They're very contrasting styles. You see a lot of similar styles that cancel each other out, whereas these guys are very different, and that made it a great fight.
And like, yeah, and just like Sterling was just not letting up like the whole way through. Like, he wore himself out. Like, he had 5 rounds. Like, this wasn't a 3-rounder.
Yeah.
He didn't pace himself whatsoever.
I don't think he's gone 5 rounds before, so that probably makes a big difference. Whereas Jan has.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Sterling's game plan just was not on point. But then Jan, I just don't know what the fuck happened there. It just doesn't seem to me like that was a simple mistake. I feel like there's more to it.
Right. His manager basically passed him a steel chair, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll use this steel chair right in front of the referee."
Fucking have it. It was, I don't know, but it looked like he said something to him, like, because you said, "Oh, he might have been talking to his corner." I was like, he was way too close to Sterling's head to be talking to his corner.
Right, but he's not giving up. Like, his head being there is intentional to keep his weight there. He's not going to give up that head position to be like, "What do you say?"
I understand he's not going to do that, like, as blatant as that, but I would have assumed he would have been up a little bit more to kind of be able to project his voice out there. Why would he come? Because he went from that position of being up and being able to speak out.
Right, but then he was leaning his weight on
down. And then right before he kneed him in the head, he just comes straight down, said something, come back up, bang, fucking have it.
I mean, we can ask him. That's the only way you're going to know.
I know. I'm going to tweet and say, how could you? Would be my tweet.
How could you?
How could you?
Sterling don't remember what he said.
Sterling don't remember. Sterling doesn't. I don't know. I felt so sorry for the guy because you could tell he was fucking heartbroken as well. Like, he dropped the belt in the ring after he put it around his waist. He was like, "Fuck this, man. Like, I don't deserve this right now."
And he doesn't.
So
he was losing that fight.
He doesn't deserve. He was losing it. You know, he may have been able to come back and potentially get some extra points, but probably not. But yeah, I don't know. That was just a weird one. But
a little bit of harm done.
But you know, he's not brown bread, so
not brown bread.
You know, lives to fight another day.
There you go then.
And he gets to enter with the title. You know, he can call himself champ now.
I don't think he's going to wear that belt.
No, I don't think he is.
Look